What's up, guys? My name is Ace, and with the release of Season 4 Reloaded for Black Ops 6 last week, there was a bunch of stuff that was data mined from the code, and I'm still playing catch up on a few of these things, and there's one thing in particular that's very interesting, and maybe a sign that they're finally killing off the Call of Duty HQ app going forward. Or maybe not, but at the very least, it looks like we're going to be seeing some interesting changes with Warzone coming up, and I wanted to discuss all of this and share my thoughts on this whole situation. So let's get into the data mine. And this string was found in the code by Reality UK, a well-known data miner within the community. So this is coming directly from the code, and this says Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 are now available outside of the main Call of Duty install. If you're currently playing those titles, re-download to access them directly going forward. So to be clear, this is something that's just in the code, it's not public facing yet, so it appears to be them just sort of setting up to inform us of this change at some point in the not too distant future, perhaps with Season 5, or maybe even later than that, maybe not until Black Ops 7 releases even. And essentially what they're saying here is they're removing Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 from the main Call of Duty or CoD HQ app. Because as of right now, if you want to access Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3, you have to do that within the CoD HQ app, the same app that you would launch to play Black Ops 6. So let's talk about this a little bit. And first I want to talk about why the Call of Duty app exists in the first place, as well as the issues that many people have with it, because it seems to be a generally universally hated thing in the community. And then also what this could potentially mean going forward for Call of Duty, or at least Warzone. I think this is a strong indicator of something we're going to be seeing in Warzone. But first, why do we have the CoD HQ app? Instead of just releasing every new Call of Duty game as its own thing like they did in the past, why did they create CoD HQ? One of the main reasons, and actually one of the things I like about the CoD HQ app, is it makes Warzone integrations much easier by allowing Warzone to be handled like its own separate application, even though it isn't its own separate application compared to the current Call of Duty game, for instance, while preventing you from having to download redundant assets and data if you want to play a main Call of Duty that's currently integrated into Warzone, as well as Warzone itself. Because previously, before CoD HQ, Warzone was hosted on the Modern Warfare 2019 app. So within Vanguard's lifecycle, for instance, if I wanted to play Warzone as well as Vanguard's multiplayer, I needed to have the Modern Warfare 2019 app installed in order to access Warzone, and I needed to have the Vanguard app installed in order to play Vanguard. And there wasn't a way to seamlessly go from playing Vanguard to Warzone. You'd have to actually go and switch your apps in order to do that, which you don't have to do with the CoD HQ app. But another big thing here is all of those assets that were integrated from Vanguard into Warzone, they had to be downloaded and installed twice if you wanted to play Warzone as well as Vanguard. Because as far as I'm aware, at least, you're unable to share assets across different applications, at least on console, for instance. Maybe there's a way to do it on PC, but on console, I don't believe that's possible. So every time they added new guns or character skins, for instance, to Vanguard, you had to download it for that main game as well as for the Modern Warfare 2019 app. And to top all of that off, I don't know if you guys remember, but Modern Warfare 2019, after its life cycle, saw a ton of new bugs that were introduced that in some ways kind of broke the game. If you were somebody that just wanted to stick around and keep playing multiplayer, for instance, there were a lot of new bugs that were introduced after Warzone updates hit, because Warzone was tied to that app. And that was obviously frustrating for those players that didn't care about Warzone and just wanted to keep playing Modern Warfare 2019, but Warzone was having a negative impact on their experience. So this is where CoD HQ comes in. Now everything's under the same app, so the assets are easily shared between. You don't need to download everything twice, and it sort of keeps that Warzone separation while also keeping things unified. In saying that though, that's highly unlikely to be the only reason that we saw the CoD HQ app. Another big reason that people often point to, and I do believe this is one of the big reasons as well, is it looks good for their analytics when right now, for instance, everybody that's playing Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 6, or Warzone, they're all technically playing the same game and contributing toward the analytics for that said game. So again, looking at console, for instance, where we don't have live player counts unlike Steam, what we do see with consoles are the top games from the previous month. They always release those lists showing the top games that were played, and Call of Duty is almost always in the top 3 at least. And I don't think that would be the case if all of these were separate apps, especially if Warzone were separated from Black Ops 6, for instance. You would see much more fragmentation of that player base, and therefore, we maybe wouldn't see Call of Duty up there in the top 3. It would probably still be up there in the top 10, and you might even see multiple instances, like you'd probably have Warzone as well as Black Ops 6 still in the top 10 overall. But if you don't combine them together, then they're probably not going to be top 3 just about every single month. So I definitely think that's another reason that we see the CoD HQ app, and it's not just about that Warzone integration. But then on top of that, I think another reason here that's a bit more on that skeptical side is having that extra Call of Duty landing page that you boot into when you boot the Call of Duty app. It provides an additional space for them to push you toward purchases within the Call of Duty franchise. Like right now, for instance, if you own Black Ops 6, but you don't own the Black Cell Battle Pass, when you boot up Call of Duty, guess what you're hovering on first? It's the button that takes you to buy the Black Cell Battle Pass. Or my understanding of this is if you don't own Black Ops 6 right now, and let's just say you only want to go and play Modern Warfare 3, you have no interest in Warzone, no interest in Black Ops 6, you just have Modern Warfare 3 and you want to play it, well, when you boot up the app, my understanding at least is it's going to be trying to push you to buy Black Ops 6, the current Call of Duty game, instead of just booting directly into the game that you want to play. So it provides that additional place to sort of advertise for you and try to get you to buy things. And I do think those are the top 3 reasons that we have the CoD HQ app. There may be some other small reasons in there, but those are the top ones at least. Now let's talk about the issues with this and why it seems the community generally despises the Call of Duty app. And I mean, the first one is the previous thing that we were just talking about. It's annoying to pay full price for a game, and every time you boot that game, it's trying to sell you a different game, or it's trying to sell you something within the game that you bought. And outside of that, it's also just annoying to have that extra menu that you have to navigate. It seems just like a waste of time. If I just want to boot up Modern Warfare 3 and play it, I should be able to do that and get directly into Modern Warfare 3, but I can't. I have to boot up Call of Duty HQ, then I have to tab over, find Modern Warfare 3, select that, and then it boots into Modern Warfare 3 from there. And that just wouldn't be the case with the old system where Modern Warfare 3 would be its own separate application. You boot into it and you're in the game, just like that. Additionally, there's definitely a feeling of new Call of Duty games feeling less like a fully fledged new Call of Duty game when it doesn't even have its own app. It almost feels like you're just buying a DLC for Call of Duty within that Call of Duty app. And while that's a fairly minor issue, especially in the case of Black Ops 6, for instance, of course, just looking at the game, it's not just a DLC or an expansion. It is, of course, a fully fledged Call of Duty game with tons of content and its own separate game modes. Like, there's a lot going on just within Black Ops 6 itself. But still, it just kind of feels weird that you don't get to install a Black Ops 6 app when you buy it, and instead you're just downloading what feels kind of like an expansion to the Call of Duty app. And going off of this is a really big deal for certain groups of the community, especially on PlayStation, where we have trophies, and a big part of buying a new game for many people is earning that platinum trophy on PlayStation. And unfortunately, you can only earn 1 platinum trophy per game. And since CoD HQ is 1 game, for every game that releases on this, there's no additional platinum trophy that you can earn. So obviously, for those that care about that, that is a pretty big deal to them. And then one final thing I often see people pointing to is the at least perceived performance issues with the Call of Duty HQ app. I don't know how much this is actually true and if these issues would still exist if games were on separate apps anyway, but I know a lot of people point to update requires restart. Every time there's an update, you have to restart the app, sometimes multiple times just to get into the game. But I don't think that's unique to CoD HQ. We saw that in the past with Call of Duty. So maybe we have to do it more often than older Call of Duty games, or maybe not. Maybe that's just a perceived issue that doesn't actually exist. One issue that I've experienced with CoD HQ that I don't recall ever experiencing in the past with older Call of Duty games is oftentimes after a major update, you download and install that update. You can even pre-download it and then you install it right when it comes out. And then you boot up the game and you try to launch multiplayer, but it comes up with an error that you don't have the multiplayer data. So then you go to manage your game install and you try to install that multiplayer data and there's no option to do that. And it's just not working and there's no loading bar. There's nothing that's indicating that it's currently downloading or installing anything. And that's definitely led to a lot of frustration over the years for me. And it still happens to this day where oftentimes shortly after an update, I just can't launch multiplayer and I have to restart my app a bunch of times over until it eventually just works itself out and suddenly I do have that game content that I needed. And again, I don't recall ever running into anything like that before the CoD HQ app. This seems to be unique to that. And then on top of that, for many people, especially on PC, they've experienced a lot more crashing issues with CoD HQ than they did back in the day where each Call of Duty was a separate app. Now, whether or not that's directly due to CoD HQ or maybe the new games just aren't as optimized and it would be doing the same thing if they were separate apps, we don't really know. But this is an area that people are often pointing to as to why they don't like CoD HQ. And overall, when it comes to my thoughts on CoD HQ, I do think it actually was quite a good solution for the whole Warzone integration situation. And because of that, I don't think it's all bad. It absolutely optimizes file sizes for that, especially if you're playing Warzone as well as a mainline game. And it prevents that situation where Warzone is tied to an older game and it's constantly breaking that older game, for instance. But at the same time, it also comes with that list of issues. And if there is another way to handle this, I would definitely like to see that alternative over the Call of Duty HQ app, because I definitely have my frustrations with it as well. Now, circling back, what does this recent leak mean going forward for the Call of Duty app and specifically Warzone? Does this mark the end of CoD HQ? Well, based on what we're seeing here, I don't think it's super clear, and it's definitely still possible that CoD HQ will be moving forward just without Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 attached to it. So perhaps when Black Ops 7 launches, it's still going to be CoD HQ, and it's just going to be added to that CoD HQ app alongside Black Ops 6. Or maybe not. Maybe this does mark the death of CoD HQ, and Black Ops 7 will be launching as its own separate application. But what does this mean for Warzone? Well, I think we're actually seeing a very strong indicator here that with the removal of Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 from the CoD HQ app, this also likely means that all of the assets that are tied to Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, all the character skins and weapons, for instance, will also be removed from CoD HQ and therefore also removed from Warzone. Because as we said earlier, one of the main reasons to have CoD HQ is to make it so you don't need those redundant files. And with the separation where you have to re-download Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3, that means you have to re-download all of their assets separately on a different app. And if you want to continue playing Warzone, they're just reintroducing all of this redundancy, and I don't think anybody has enough hard drive space left if they've got Call of Duty installed on it. So I do strongly believe that with Warzone, they are going to be eliminating the Modern Warfare assets from that. And honestly, that does make sense to me because with Warzone, we've never had more than 3 Call of Duty games integrated into the same version of Warzone. I think 3 is already getting pretty bloated, and a 4th one I think would really push it over the edge. So perhaps instead of a full reset like they did with Warzone 2.0, they're just going to be eliminating the Modern Warfare stuff, keeping the Black Ops 6 stuff in Warzone as well as the CoD HQ app, and then just adding Black Ops 7 stuff on top of that within the CoD HQ app. So it's a bit more of a soft reset rather than a hard reset for Warzone. Alternatively, maybe we are actually going to be seeing the launch of Blackout 2 instead of Warzone with the release of Black Ops 7. I know this one seems like a bit more of a stretch, but this is something that a lot of people, myself included, were speculating when we saw this wingsuit clip from the first Black Ops 7 trailer. They did officially clarify that this was actually footage from the co-op campaign on Avalon, but they didn't explicitly say that there wouldn't be Blackout 2. They just said that, no, this clip's not from Blackout, this clip is from co-op campaign. So maybe that's something that's going to be happening. Again, I think that one is a bit of a stretch, and I think the previous explanation is probably a little bit more likely, where it's still going to be Warzone, but they're just going to do sort of a soft reset by eliminating all of the Modern Warfare assets and sticking to Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 assets for the next year. And with that, this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys about this topic in those comments down below. First off, what are your general thoughts toward CoD HQ? Do you want to see them kill this off and go back to releasing games individually? And second, what do you think this removal of Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 means for the future of Warzone specifically? Are you guys on board with them potentially just removing these from Warzone and then just integrating Black Ops 7 stuff on top of the Black Ops 6 stuff? Would you rather see Blackout 2 over Warzone? Just let me know all of the thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.